come together to defeat him. We got the full statement on our website. It's fox17online.com.
To break down some of the results from yesterday, and here we come, political analyst to really talk about what we saw yesterday and what it means now as we look ahead to November.
That's right. We've got John Selleck with Harper Strategic now joining us this morning. And John, we've been talking with you this morning. Real quick, before we dive into what's next, obviously the caucuses to come, do these primaries really tell us anything of what we can expect come the general election in November? Any inside look there?
Not really. It's a good question because it kind of like talks about the excitement and attention that was given to that election. Yet we all sort of knew what the result was going to be, and American voters know that when they are asked in polls if they think there's going to be a Trump-Biden rematch, massively high numbers of them, over 70% or 80%, think, yeah, that's what it's going to be. So for a lot of people who voted uncommitted yesterday, in the Democratic primary, it was a free chance to say, hey, I'm really frustrated or worried about Joe Biden being president. And this isn't like some kind of crossover vote thing. All polling across the country shows that Democrats are as concerned or more about Joe Biden's ability to be president at his age. And it's not just the age either. It's his abilities, because Donald Trump obviously is in the same age. There are people who have concerns about Trump at his age, but they draw a very different opinion on their actual ability and their mental acuity at this point. So Michigan probably did more to provide headlines for the national newspapers and the international newspapers, to be honest, about what happened with the uncommitted vote related to the Gaza situation, the fact that Joe Biden lost Dearborn itself to the uncommitted vote. But overall, as a state, it was only marginally larger of an uncommitted vote than Barack Obama faced in 2012.
Well, as we look ahead to a rematch, is there any possible scenario where we know Trump is far and away the GOP frontrunner right now, but facing legal challenges? We've got the ballot challenge before the Supreme Court. Is there any scenario where maybe he would be ineligible to run, and that's why maybe Nikki Haley is staying in the race right now?
Well, I do think that's why she's holding on. Anybody that runs for president, trust me, they've got a burning desire to be president. Joe Biden doesn't want to leave. It's a great gig in some ways. He gets to wear the aviators, and when he goes out for ice cream, everybody pays a lot of attention, and there's a lot of power in the position. But I do think Nikki Haley and her financial supporters are trying to hold on, wondering if Trump does run into legal problems, official legal problems like an indictment, if that would hurt him. But I think he's done a pretty good job convincing the GOP overall that it's a witch hunt and nothing's going to happen, because polling shows over and over again that it's not swaying the position of GOP voters. And we're in a GOP primary. In fact, most of the polling has shown that Nikki Haley supporters in all the primaries, not just Michigan, are not the base GOP vote. They are independent voters or even Democrats who are crossing over. When we look at West Michigan compared to the rest of the state and the results yesterday, they basically tracked with the dominance that Donald Trump showed. Probably like 4 or 5 points less in West Michigan and Kent County, Ottawa County than the state as a whole, but that's because you have larger urban areas. And those are the areas that Nikki Haley did better in. She won East Grand Rapids, no surprise, the highest income level, the highest college attainment levels. That's the split we've seen in a lot of these things. So in the cities, there's precincts in Holland, for example, where Nikki Haley did better, but Donald Trump ran the table in the traditional GOP suburbs like Kentwood and Granville and Wyoming. He cleaned house there, and that's why he's taking likely all the delegates out of Michigan as they go to Super Tuesday.
All right, John Selleck, we certainly appreciate all of your insight and analysis this morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, it is 9:14, still ahead this morning.
Boy, we had have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
On